You know, karibu katika ukurasa wa pili, the second edition of my going back to my roots. Yeah, you know, you remember what they show Roots with Oprah Winfrey? Yeah, I watched it. Going back to the roots is always interesting, isn't it? Where it all began for most of us. And so since niko ukurasa wa pili, the second edition of this Who Is Me, asking those questions and sharing those insights of who I am, maybe at the tender age. It sounds tender until I tell you what's going on at that age too, because it's not as glorious sometimes when you think of the beginnings. Most of us can relate. Our road is not as glamorous, but we've made it. There's the dumbest thing I ever heard of people say, that if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. How dumb is that? So that is it we just go through the fires and we are refined by the brutality of others, and we come out the other side saying, yeah, look at me, I went through hell and I'm standing on this glorious side of the universe and I just made it. That's a lot of baloney, I think. I don't think that is how it was meant to be. We've just accepted it and we call it that man up, be a man, stand up but be counted, you are being a sissy. A lot of nonsense, a lot of things that we hide behind. And people who say these things, they're really hiding behind those cliches, those mantras, those what I call cultural nonsense. It's acceptable. I don't care for it. I think when I think of myself, I was talking about my uncle, Isaac, who inspired me at a very early age in his running career. In a primary school known as Chemaner by itself, I like to give you a deeper explanation of something. Let me just say, Chemaner, if you use a bit raw in interpretation, it means people did not get fat. I don't know, that is just raw interpretation. Chemaner is that people who don't grow beyond their size. They are either skinny, and skinny in some cultures is viewed as you haven't acquired wealth. So Chemaner, if you go to Chemaner, which is a small town I visited 2021, it has lived up to its name. It has never grown. It has never found any other way of looking at themselves. I remember walking through these shops many years later, and I was in awe and stunned, and now stunned. Chemaner has become, it has lived up to its reputation. Chemaner is exactly what it has become. And I ran into some characters there. It's just, there's something about that sucks you in and you don't want to either grow. And I think I'll say this. The last time I visited there and I saw what that name, as people have believed it, they treasure it, they are proud of Chemaner. They are proud of the fact that they haven't grown, they haven't seen anything different as a small little town, that things are just stuck in the past, so to speak. And people live there. And I say this because as much as I talk about how that path inspired me at a very early age, sometimes I have to tell you too, it is there's a sad moment in my life in that same school that I thought this teacher was going to kill me. Because let me tell you something that people don't know. I mean, the West romanticized Kenya runners. They walk to school 10 miles, 10 kilometers to school back. And people romanticize, oh, that's why they are great runners. People have no idea how running saves your lives. It saves people's lives, so to speak, literally. You're either running to school to get there on time, or else the teacher is going to break you down like the cane they are going to use on your backside. And this teacher, I think I was late for class. I remember vividly, and he just broke me down. I think he went all out. I suspect I'm not the only one. I think we've had cases of students being beat up and being corporally abused and violently dismantled by teachers in the name of instilling discipline, instilling character. How do you do that? Even saying that just makes me just want to go there and ask the guy if he's still around, what were you doing? Because when he was done beating me, I was in class. I think he had me kneeling on some concrete. I think I was 5 or 6. Let me just be that bold and tell you how old I was. In the other parts of the world, that's child abuse, right? In my part of the world, is instilling fear. Yes, he did. I think he beat me to oblivion. And there's one person who saved me and took me home. It was my Uncle Isaac. I don't know whether he remembers this, but I remember him walking me home and I was just in bad shape. I don't think I went back to school for a year. And I think it's the only time I can say my mother came to my rescue. He stood and said no more. I think he had seen the damage. And so when I talk about this side of my life, sometimes I have to open up to the dark side, the dark side, And my suspicion is that I think my life was never the same, because I think when that teacher was done with me as a human being, as much as that was what they did, and they sometimes still do that, teachers have those kind of powers. I think it kind of traumatized me. The scars, I think even talking about it, I can sense that they are deep. But I have to say this because that's where I began. I started to see myself as this fearful character. And maybe that's why I took running, because in running I was escaping. In running, maybe I was redeeming myself. I was trying to run away from monsters like the teacher. And I'll talk about another side of school that I remember how running saved me, so to speak. It becomes almost an escape. And maybe the reason why at my age I'm still just running. I just finished a game here, a very good high school game. Grant High School versus Lake Oswego. It was a good game. And I think for me, this is where I feel I'm in a safe place. When I'm running, when I'm active, I feel safe. I feel I'm present. And maybe I'm running away from that monster that almost killed me when I was very young. Is that true or not? I don't know. So running to me starts to define me at a very early age. I remember even one time, my mom would send me to the shop. The same environment I'm talking about, this Chemanel area. He would spit on the ground. And he would say that if this spit on the ground dries and you're not back, you know what's gonna happen. I might be smiling, but that's a terror sometimes parents, teachers use back then, because they had the powers to use violence, to instill fear and make you do things. It becomes part of the story of my life. I don't think I'm the only one. I'm just speaking for myself. And it's being vulnerable too when I do that. But that starts to inform me that you are never safe. You're only safe when you're running. And I've always felt safe when I'm running. I think for me, running has become a religion. I think I've said this before. It is. It's not just a way of life. It is maybe my lifestyle. But to me, it has taken a deeper meaning. It has taken a spiritual meaning, because even in this platform where I'm talking about the athletes, I'm talking to them like saints. I think they are. They've made me realize that I think there's another platform people who are athletic are in. Because when you are running, I'll say this, you know your body. You know. And so, yeah, I want just to open up to that dark moment when I was in this Chemanel, so to speak, place, and how my Uncle Isaac becomes my inspiration in the beginnings, and he becomes my savior when I was really broken down and brutalized by this teacher. Hey, I just finished a game. If you look how I look just exhausted. What am I wearing? A helmet? Because I'm about to get on my bike, head home, get on a train and head home, get some good dinner, wash off all this humid and heat that was killing us here today on the field. Listen, my friend, I'll leave you with something. I enjoy talking to you, okay? Keep subscribing, keep viewing, keep liking. And if you know somebody who wants just to hear these guys speak, hey, don't hesitate. Be generous. Pass on the love.